Hello, folks. Another episode of Gaming with Blockchain. With I'm your host, A and we are discussing this time around Uplift World. They too have prepared some upgrades and releases to get ready for their Minecraft server game launch. And so what has happened is that they have started to unlock the rail keys. Those are the images that unfortunately this image doesn't show it too well, but let's take a look at we just uplift, sorry, community, and we should be able to find wrong. I should say, I guess it's conflict with the names. And let's see if I find the image right here. So this image here, they've now decided to earlier this week release the rail key. So if you were a rail key landowner, not so much the landowner overall, just a rail key landowner. Those keys were unlocked, I believe, on Monday. So, which means those areas here in red that you can see right now, hopefully you can see it clearly, that is the rail path. This is where people are going to travel to get to particular points in the game. Aside from exploring your lot in order to get to other areas, this is like their travel mechanism. So these keys were released on Monday. And from that, as I push forward to get more players on board, so you could go into the game and just travel around the game and basically visit your own rail lot, which was pretty cool. If you know what you're doing, I myself have no idea of anything about Minecraft. I just, again, I'm enjoying the concept itself. But that's just the next step to show that they're getting closer and closer to their release. So what does that mean now? Here's I have some rail keys, and this is the rail keys I received. Now I know in context it doesn't show you where it is in the game in terms of it, who am I beside or if I'm near anybody overall, because these are just the bigger names right now, and still doesn't showcase all these smaller ones in. Whoops. Hide these images again. It doesn't tell you in context where I am in the game itself, especially if you're looking at this kind of map. These are the bigger names that stand out, but then there's still all the little blocks that other players and other communities are part of, and it's still hard to distinguish. But nonetheless, having these rail keys right now is beneficial because it solidifies the game's mechanics and the game's progress. So I don't know right now if I'm, let's say, beside who I may or may not be, but what I do like, at least two of the rail keys are right by an intersection, and that I think is pretty cool. But we'll see how it moves on, and I have no idea what I'm going to build. So you guys have ideas? Great. I have one possible thought, but I'm not sure yet what will happen. Again, this is not a familiar territory for me in terms of that kind of style of game. But moving on. So that was earlier in the week, but now for landowners, excuse me, they're now preparing for their probe release, or the opportunities for landowners to kind of select where they want to be. And that depends on whatever assets you have in your wallet in order to kind of win the lottery to say, okay, I get first picks. Right? And that is one of the things that everyone's anticipating, and that's not going to happen until the 23rd. They're taking a picture of your wallet to find out what assets you have, which means, okay, they look at my assets, what do I have in my assets, which means, as I recommended, that if you have anything that's being staked in our planet, this would be the time to unstake. So for me, right now, I'm going to go to our planet right now because I know I have some stuff in in the game that's being staked, and I'm going to remove it because I know myself as well. If I wait till last minute, I may not remember. So I'm gonna go into Uplift World. I'm gonna look at what I have here, and okay, then I'm right now I'm just gonna unstake them all. So I'm just gonna. Oh, I haven't staked them. So there you go. But I thought I had. So let's go back and check just to make sure. So here I'm gonna check here. What's staked? That's older piece. I'm gonna go back, and again more over here. What's staked? And these I'm going to release. So these are ones that are staked right now, and I'm going to unstake them. Yes, I'm going to lose quite a bit of ether for the moment, which is fine, but I rather just have a predetermined idea of the chances of receiving a probe if I can. I don't know if I will, but you know, what would be the harm to increase your odds? So it's better than I basically unstake them all, and then if I don't win them, I can always go back and restake them at a later date. So I'm just gonna go back and make sure what's staked and everything's unstaked as they should be. Why is it not showing me unstaked? There we go. To unstaked. And the capture again, back to the whole point with these bots. So it's making transactions a little bit more cumbersome. So just be aware of that. It's just something that Wax had implemented because, as I said, the networks this past week have been bombarded with utter scams, just really dishonest behavior, and really unnecessary. But this had to be implemented to kind of slow down the onslaught, and then at the same time protect users. You know, your assets are what's on the line here. So if these bots get out of control, this is, you know, your experiences are at risk. So I've unstaked all the assets I had within the game of Uplift, so that now whenever they're ready now to do these probes or launch a probe, then the opportunity to show if that is available to me is there. I've now unlocked everything to say, okay, here, take a snapshot of what I have. Is it qualify for a probe? And then within that probe, now it's a matter of, okay, do I, within whatever window, do I get a drop? And it's kind of trying to kind of basically navigate the map. I have no idea. I haven't been in the game itself. I haven't put myself in the game. But then it'll determine where would I want to be. So if I'm looking at this map and I win a chance to put my land together, what location would I want to really be attracted to and be part of as far as crazy activities go? I'm really not sure. I mean, I have my bias to be with Alien World. I have a bias to be with our planet. You know, I already have support with Crown, so you kind of want to spread out a bit more and kind of work the area to your advantage, because you still have to build it. You still have a structure that now has to be created, and I haven't the faintest idea yet what I'm going to do. I have some ideas, but I have to kind of think of, okay, what's the size? What's the size of the space that I'm receiving? So there's a lot of things to process, and you really want to make sure it's worthwhile, and then people are going to enjoy walking to that space, or at least visiting that space when it's in place. So a bit of creativity. Creativity along with planning, along with a little bit of forethought and or future or perspective thinking. Okay, what could this happen in the next month from now or 2 months from now, and so on. But now that being said, Krownlandia, the support mechanism behind this gratitude feature is also now expanding. Their numbers are growing, and they're now trying to get place managers for the Uplift world. Again, so this is another structure that has to be built, another expansion unit that needs to be added on. And how do you do that? How do you juggle all these projects that are coming along? And all you can do is really do one thing at a time. So these are just the formats to give you tidbits of what's moving onward, and you can see from so much activity, there's a lot happening behind the scenes, primarily and within the space within these communities. So again, if you're having questions, and I thank you all the supporters and everybody else, and you're there and you're following, share. Definitely hit me up there. I didn't mention it in the other two videos. I'm trying to make sure I keep them tight and get all the information in place, so that's my bad. But I hope you enjoyed, and there's still one more to add to this plate, but that's far more technical and a little more in depth. But we'll get to that not too long from now. So until next time, take care, and we'll touch base.